Live from PATV Studios, it's the Lyle Style Show. And now, the man with the most style, it's your host, Lyle Style.
Hey, welcome to another edition of the Lyle Style Show. You know what? Our show gets getting better and better because, I have three beautiful people that's been acting, they're directing, producing, and we're going to be talking to them about their new series, Xpose TV series. And we have Brent Gaskins, Julian, Brittano, I get it right, and Brandon Bias. So I want to welcome y'all to the show, man. Welcome to the Lyle Style Show. What's going on?
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
Good, man. Hey, look, I talked to, I was a good friend of mine, y'all's, whatever, Charles Clark kind of hit me up with what's going on with what y'all doing. And I'm so glad to have y'all on the show to talk to y'all for this two-part series. But so start off with Brent. Brent, now I know you're an actor, you do some acting, and also you're the AD of this series, the Xpose TV series. Is that true?
Yes, sir. That is correct.
Yeah. So okay. Now, tell us a little bit about. First of all, we're going to get a little background about what's going on with y'all. So Brent, tell us a little bit how you get started off and what you're doing, man.
Okay. Long story short, come from a family of 9, Brooklyn, New York. We used to always entertain, and I was always singing and dancing. Always in front of the television, saying I could do that, I can do that. Grew up. Lived life like the average person, college, high school, college, married, kids, some divorced. And then one day, my daughter's going into the Navy, and I said, she said, Daddy, follow your dream. And I said, okay, this is it. So I started and never looked back. And that was June 24th, 2015 with Captain America 3 Civil War.
Oh, wow. Captain America 3. I mean, I'm going to go check. You do look familiar to me when I even look at you, man. You do look familiar. You must, what you was in the scene what scene was you in the scene with one of the characters?
I was in the United Nations scene right before the explosion.
Oh.
And I was also in the scene where Tony Stark's Iron Man was giving a speech to the MIT students, telling them to be creative and that all of their funding for all of their projects would be paid for. But you wouldn't have seen me in that one. But I did catch myself in the trailer.
Yeah, the trailer.
For at the the United Nations scene right before the explosion.
Right. Okay, man. Because I'm gonna tell you something now. Everybody, you kind of remind me of somebody, an actor, and I'm gonna figure that person out before the show is over with, man. Because you remind me of somebody. you do. You got that look though. But you've been acting. You just started acting because of your daughter. Kind of prompted you to do this?
It's something that I always wanted to do, but her going into the Navy at that time, she was leaving out of Fort Jackson. My daughter Brielle, and she was leaving out of Fort Jackson and went to the ceremony, and we talked a little bit. And she said she was following her dream, and it had some steps she had to take to get to where she wanted to get to. Mm-hmm. And I finally decided, after working at a pharmaceutical company, that when the contract ended, that I was going to be an actor, and there was nothing that was going to stop me from pursuing that, and that's what I did.
Amen. That's a beautiful thing, man. Beautiful thing. But now, Julian, man, I look at you as you being like a model. You got that savoir-faire type look. What's going on? How'd you get? So you got savoir-faire, man. You got that model type. Did you do that type of stuff or something?
I don't know what you're talking about. But
yeah, I'm looking at your picture. But okay, now you're what? So tell us a little bit about your background and how you got started and stuff.
Well, at the end of the day, I've been in the creative arts space for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since I was a young guy, a young little boy, and and that was in music. I played instruments. I, was in a little gifted and talented programs and things like that. So it's always been in me to do it. I just was waiting for the right opportunity. And the right opportunity came October of 2015. I had just lost my lounge, my club out in Virginia. I'm from Jersey originally, but I was down in Virginia. I opened up a club, a restaurant, and I had lost it. It literally got shut down.
Yeah.
I was sitting there flat, broke. Then it was probably like 2 months later, like I said, it's October of 2015, and I came across a posting, a casting for background work, extra work for the TNT pilot, which is now everybody knows as Good Behavior. So I got booked for that. I sent them my picture. I said, you know what, let me go ahead and just send it. They was looking for people just to be in the extras background. That's what happened. 2 weeks later, now within that 2 week time frame, I was actually on quite a few other projects. And Greenleaf was actually my 5th project.
Okay. Oh, Oprah's.
Yeah. And I was, like I said, I was a background at the time. Then when she comes out, came out from the back, I didn't even know she was going to be on the show. And so she comes out and we did the scene, run the scene a couple of times. No, I'm just an extra at that point. Wait staff, number 7. And we do the scenes a couple of times. She turns around, starts talking to me, strikes up a conversation, basically just small talk. We do the scene a couple more times. She turns back around again. And that's when she asked me my name. She asked me how long I've been acting. I told her, I said 2 weeks. And from there, that's when it happened. By the end of that day.
Oh wow! And Greenleaf, the series. Now, how long have you been in the series? Is this are you a recurring role, or what's the that's a good series too. And Greenleaf. Julian. Julian? The hell? Hey, Brent. Okay, I guess we have some technical difficulties right here. Brent? We have some technical difficulties with the conference call right fast, but hello, is this Brandon?
Yes, I am still here.
Oh, you're still here?
I'm not sure what happened with those guys.
Okay. Well, what happened to Gaskins and Brent? My goodness, man. Okay, we're gonna talk, man. I'm gonna talk to you, brother, because you got a very interesting background too. Now, you're the writer and director of Xpose, the TV series. Huh?
Yes. This is actually one of my first real attempts at a serious writing project. I think we just got Julian back on, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. No.
Maybe not.
No, not yet. We're waiting for them to come back on. So, but
Gotcha.
tell us a little bit about what's going on with you, man.
For me, I don't, I'm an ordinary guy. There's nothing too special. For me, this whole thing started with photography. I just wanted to learn something that I can put all of my talents in. I have a background in art, which is started with drawing, that went on to music. So that's essentially where all my writing techniques came from. So after getting into photography, it just led to videography, and I found that was a way for me to utilize my writing skills and techniques. So, you fast forward about 2 years later, and here I am now, being the lead writer for the show. So it's awesome. It's a very good experience for me.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, I'm quite sure it is, man. You're writing this wonderful TV series, and now, now, like I said, it's called Xpose, the TV series.
I missed the beginning of that question.
No, I said you're writing for this wonderful TV series. I know it's called Xpose, the TV series.
Absolutely. Yeah, we named it Xpose. It's a lot of stuff we need to expose out here. Essentially, this project, it was originally going to be a short film that I wrote.
Okay.
It was called Refill at the time, but it just kept growing. And I actually turned it into a full feature back in April.
Okay.
And I'm linked up with Julian. He came on my set, saw how I was doing too much for one person. So at the time, I was, being a director. I was being the cameraman. I was being the coach, the cook.
The whole 9 yards.
Way too much stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But, that's how it is with a lot of young filmmakers these days, especially African Americans.
Right.
We don't really have, the resources that some other guys have. But, with our background, and especially mine, I'm used to rolling up my sleeves and just working. I don't like to depend on people, so I'm just one of those go-getters, man. And but he just happened to come on my set, and from there we just turned this thing into a TV series. I had a role for him, and we just discovered that over time that we pretty much complete each other in this process. So it's a great collaboration. I can't get that out. Collabo. So yeah, it's awesome.
I know. And how did Brent get involved with this series, man?
No, Brent he's been with Julian for a while. They're very good friends. It wasn't until recently that I met Brent. He's a great guy, by the way. He came on as our casting director, and just after, I would say, my first time getting to really speak with him, I showed him some of my footage, and he just pointed out certain things that I've never had anyone else point out. So I knew he had the eye that's necessary for that. That's a gift. A lot of people don't have that. So he saw a quick scene and just started, picking things apart. Things that kind of I didn't really even see, but it was awesome to see that someone has that gift. So he got promoted, obviously, and Brent's the man that keeps everyone in check. So that's what I love about Brent.
Okay. Now,
Very professional guy.
Right now, who's this on? Is this Brent or this Julian?
This is Julian. I apologize. I was coming through an elevator and a whole situation, and it just shut us off.
Oh my goodness, man! I see, man. I said, what in the heck, man? What did this disappear, man? Like quick man or something like that. But we waiting for Brent to come back on. But yeah. Brandon, now. Okay, your last name was Bias, man.
Correct, like Lynn Bias.
Yes, that's what I was going to say, man. Yeah. So we
All right, I'm back.
Okay. Hey, Brent, thank you for coming back, young man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
This happens when you do conference calls. So, but look, I mean, we were talking to Brandon a little bit about the show and how you really helped him to kind of guide it to where it is today. So and now I didn't realize that you and Julian was really good friends. So it's just really like a teamwork type thing for this TV series.
That's exactly what this is. At the end of the day, it's a collaborative effort of creative minds, of everybody using their resources and network to really build this thing out to be. Because it is a national crisis. It is an epidemic. These are words that are true to the state and what's going on. So as we approach it, we have to approach it with a bigger than life approach. You can't just think that we're just going to do a little something and just shoot around. No, This is the championship, so we got to go all in. So that's what's been happening. A lot of support has been coming our way, with the communities and and just like with even yourself with the media partners and things like that. So we're just very grateful and thankful for all
definitely.
that,
We're gonna get the word out to this. So, but let me now say quickly now. I mean, all y'all are involved in doing this acting, and y'all touch on some various different topics, man. Can each one of y'all kind of hit on the topics that y'all going to be covering with this Xpose TV series?
Okay, the one of the core components of it, and Brandon having this idea, and him and Julian collaborating and expanding on that idea have made this thing so beautiful the way it's written. But one of the main components of it, of course, is the opiate addiction epidemic.
Right.
And again, when we say the word epidemic, there's not a city that I can think of that you can have a conversation about and not have the same conversation as opiate epidemic in that same conversation, because it's everywhere.
Right. Now, for those people that don't realize what you're talking about, which I know, could you explain what is exactly what that word is, what that is?
Okay, when you're talking about opiates, there's a lot of different forms of. You got Molly, you have other street drugs that carry street names. You have heroin. So when you're talking about an opiate epidemic, you're not only talking about a spike increase in the use of it, but also a spike increase in the amount of deaths being caused by this. That's the main component. You can't. There's no treating someone after death. They're just dead. But when you're talking about prevention or having an open conversation or making people aware, everybody thinking about it, and I've seen it mentioned in the news. And again, we do thank the news resources that are reaching out to us that says, yes, let's have that conversation. Let's talk about this project. The epidemic side of it becomes where the numbers start to graduate in the wrong direction, to where it goes from 1 in 10 people to 1 in 7 to 1 in 5 to 1 in 3 to 1 in 2. So now you're talking about a population where degradation is the outcome from a drug such as this, from the different forms of this drug. So, and it's going to cost everybody. It's going to cost everybody. So again, to get the conversation out there, to get the funding that needs to be in place. But again, like Julian said earlier, this is not a start something and then just drop it off just to be able to say we filmed a project. This is a mission. This is a call for action, and that's just one component that we're dealing with. And maybe Brandon or Julian can expound on a different one.
Yeah. What is the other component?
Primarily, we want to bring attention to the various forms of addiction and the effect that it has on various people. I think we're living in a dangerous time right now, and a lot of people just don't take in consideration that everyday people get addicted to this stuff, and before you realize the symptoms of it, that person is long gone. That's become a very, very common story, even through the research portion of getting this film prepped and everything, that it's just mind-boggling. But I just kept coming across that and hearing that story, seeing that same story. Some people that have a innocent injury and get prescribed the painkillers, and before you know it, they have an addiction to it. And then this is ranging from like 13-year-old kids, all the way up. People in their 50s, 60s. This is one thing that's almost universal, and it's very scary. Me personally, I tore a hamstring. This was in winter of 2015, and personally, I've never been a person big on pills by any means, but I've never taken any meds or opioids that, anything of that strength. And I recall taking like 2 dosage of it and just sitting there taking in the effect of how it is and it was just kind of scary for me. But needless to say, I still have the rest of the bottle. It was too much for me, but I'm more into the natural thing.
I feel you, man. I
But,
feel you. Yeah. Yeah.
It's scary stuff out there. But one of the big things is the way that these pills are getting into the hands of people. You can almost get it just as, just like water these days. It can be prescribed, it can be through the street, but in terms of doctors, they're prescribing it maybe even to the point that it's being overdone. I think that we should take some extra measures, even checking people's histories, their addictions, things like that as well. There's a lot of things that need to be in play that could help us prevent this epidemic. At least on the legal side of it.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah, there's legal and there's illegal, yeah, right. I mean, I totally
Absolutely.
agree. Yeah, I agree with what both of y'all saying, because this is epidemic, and plus, in different storylines on television, you see series are talking about drugs, the new series on TNT or something like that, Snowfall, which is, that's a different series about a different type of drug. They're talking about that. So yeah, right. This is a needed thing that what y'all doing, and I know I was talking to Brent. He was explaining to me that y'all gonna be talking a little bit about or doing a little bit about another type of epidemic that's out there. Was you talking about sex trafficking? Can y'all explain a little bit about that? Hey, Brent. Brent.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're talking about. Remember, you told me a little bit about the other thing y'all be talking about, which is about is it sex trafficking or something like that?
Yeah, and let me say this first before I do answer that question. When Brandon just mentioned addictions, again, of course, with the opiate addiction, that serves as one face or one entity in the story.
Okay.
But then there are other addictions that people have. The way they wrote this is so dynamic because it's so layered. There's so many faces to each thing that's being represented in the TV series. So it's not one dimensional. You have characters that have a variety of different looks and personality. So alongside of the opiate epidemic, which he says, like he said, can start as early as 13, with a sports injury and being a prescribed painkiller, but also the other addictions that exist with people, whether it's greed, whether it's money, whether it's power.
Okay.
So again, the way he wrote this has it so layered, and it's you got sex trafficking. You have people who look like one thing in this perspective is a totally different person in another perspective. Again, the way they wrote it is beautiful. It's creative. It's different. It's not going to be like anything that you're accustomed to seeing now, and that's what I like about it. That's why I'm so glad I'm a part of it, is because this is not the same old, same old. Okay. Anybody can do that.
Right.
Their vision is to change this thing totally.
Wow.
And that's the road that they're on right now, with the way they wrote it and the way it's being filmed.
That's wonderful. Hey, Brandon, kudos to you, man. Your first.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. We just want to bring some awareness every way that we can. And I'm not the only writer. I'm definitely the lead, but we do have a couple other writers as well, and we're all meshing on the same page. So we just think that this is something that needs to desperately be relatable, so the public can really take it serious and and see it as something that's helpful.
Right.
And that could help prevent some of these issues.
Right, exactly. You want to be the solution, not the problem, to this situation right here. Yeah, with this series, you could bring people together and to talk about this. Like you said, it's talking conversation about what's going on and about what y'all doing. So again, I say kudos to you, Brandon. So, I mean, you're writing, directing. What next, man? You're gonna be acting?
I get asked that all the time. Me personally, I'm gonna stay in my lane. It's very inspiring to see these guys do this. People like, the work with people like Julian and Brent, I think is awesome what they do, and just to watch these guys transform, it's inspiring. But I'm not that inspired where I wanna go out and act myself. So I'm gonna leave that to the pros, and I'm gonna just stay in my lane. I love writing.
There y'all go, man. I mean, you know what? I get this. I get that y'all three are becoming really close, like y'all brothers. I get a really sense of brotherhood between y'all three, and just a family type thing. And I admire that. Especially when you get into entertainment, this with African Americans, and how we besiege each other. So I think just as a blessing that y'all doing this and getting the word out. I just want to expound and talk a little bit about Brent. Your acting and you was in that movie Fatal Attraction.
Yes, sir.
Oh, now how did that go, man? Because I heard that's a really gritty type of series, man, on TV One.
Yeah, that actually was, for me, it was a fun project to shoot. Number one, because the set was loose, it wasn't uptight. The director was very personable, hands-on, like right in your face. The way they shot it, the way they tell that storyline for that, it had a lot of action and it had a lot of running. I'm 50, but I love it. I love the physical side of it.
Right. Now you did
running, jumping, shooting.
Yeah, you did some martial arts thing. You did.
I'm not a. Look, I'm not even. I'm not even in school for it. I have been in the past, but I have a very good memory and a very good working knowledge of things. But no, I'm not a martial artist by far. But I'm a dancer. So to me, martial arts is dancing. So I learned very quickly steps and moves, especially when you're talking about choreography. So that's something that I am getting back into. But yeah, Fatal Attraction, it was wonderful, man. I had a good time filming that.
I know you did, man. It aired now. It aired last Monday on TV One. And I know. Right.
It aired Monday past, and then it'll be on YouTube on July 26th.
Okay.
It'll be available on YouTube.
Okay, good.
It's on TV One on demand now, but July 26th it'll be on YouTube.
Oh, good. Definitely people can definitely check that out, because I think that's because I know, because Fatal Attraction, I mean, the name itself speaks for us all. Fatal Attraction, and now you've evolved, so did you play a good character or a bad character?
I was the bad guy. I was the lead character. I was the guy that shot 5 people and killed 2.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? People say that playing a bad character is very different than playing these other type of characters, and so I don't. Go ahead.
I don't think so. I mean, and Julian can maybe ring the bell on this as well. If you're an actor, you're an actor. You can be good, bad, sad, in between, preacher, pimp. Whatever roles that you feel like you morally and ethically are willing to play, you should be able to transform into any character. To me. So there's no more. Now, there's a little bit of energy applied to if you're a good guy and they want you to play a real bad guy. Now you got to be the opposite of who you are, which takes a lot of acting. So, I mean, I love it. All phases of it. Julian, how do you feel about that same question?
Well, I'm gonna get to Julian in 1 second, because
I'm sorry.
What we're gonna do? We're gonna take a break. We're gonna get back into part 2 of our series. But I want to, once y'all stay on, I want to thank the viewers for watching. I want y'all to tune back in to Lyle Style Show when we were back with our guests, Brent Gaskins, Julian Brittano, and Brandon Bias. Talk a little bit about the stereotypes and about in acting and all that type of stuff. So, as part of Keep Styling Profiling, peace. Out of here. We'll see you next time.